3, 2, 1.
What?
Bro, you
Wow,
fucking
we've
counted. No,
That's
don't
insane.
wee. You fucking snapped like so fast.
Wait, like look at the waveforms.
You know, you're actually right. You know, when they teach you in music, I chased it. I didn't wait for it.
Yeah, you went 1, 2, 3. Go. No, you went 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I snapped as I said
No,
3.
you need to do it in the rhythm of the word of the letters.
In the rhythm.
Don't you like
of the
jazz?
world.
I do, yeah.
And they don't. They're not
Yes,
that.
they do.
Did you wait? Are you arguing they have no rhythm in jazz?
It's literally what he just said.
As much as I like jazz now.
Oh, as much as I
That's
love
crazy.
jazz.
He's made me appreciate jazz. But yes, this is what I'm saying.
Good God. It's the dumbest thing I've heard you say all day.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Jazz musicians have no rhythm. This is a take that we all agree to. Yes, sir.
Peace and love.
All I'm
Peace and
saying
love.
is if they did, there would be sheet music for it. So can I have...
There fucking is.
There
I'm
are.
gonna drink my Dr.
What is
Pepper.
wrong with you? Yeah, maybe
it's okay.
caffeine will help you like get better takes or something.
No, it's proven to not function like that.
Actually, it doesn't. No, I just get worse takes. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Greetings.
Last episode was late, not because it wasn't done on time, but because I forgot to hit publish until like
That's really funny.
Saturday. I realized I'm like, where
I-
the fuck are my statistics? And then I looked at my phone. I'm like, why is
There
it
are no
on
statistics.
draft?
That's like when
Uh,
you like think that you ran an experiment and you just like didn't actually click the button, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
basically what I did.
That's
This is
incredible.
super relatable
I
content to our
felt
viewers. yeah.
really dumb. But yeah, I had a very eventful weekend that I really want to get talking to because it was insane.
Okay, but
So-
before that, I have something to say. I can't believe that you fucking put me in red on the thumbnail. It's some bullshit.
I know you're blue.
You know that my color.
What
is
month
blue.
is it?
It's June.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're not gay enough to be the guy on the bottom.
I'm wearing the shirt, buddy.
You're-
I'm invulnerable.
You're not invulnerable. That's not how this works.
It's okay.
It's
Just
fine,
Let,
it's fine.
let
You can
Patrick
be in
have his
blue.
favorite colors.
It's fine. It's
He
fine.
loves blue and white.
He does love blue white. He does
He
do
loves-
that.
When you say it that way,
He
it sounds
loves
really
blue and
bad.
white.
You like the boys
Yes,
in blue, don't
sir.
they? Don't you?
Boys in blue. Not, yeah. I've heard of a boys in berry.
Maybe we should just start over from the
Yeah,
beginning.
actually, 3. No. What?
Go ahead with your story. I'm
I actually
sorry.
changed how the camera is set up this time, so they can see more of us.
Hello.
Wow, nice.
I'm learning.
It's like higher than it usually is.
Yeah. So it's pointed downwards. Because before we have like so much space up here, that was like kind of ridiculous.
I see.
Yeah, the
But now I can
podcast did
lean.
kind of look like we were all like this.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
You know.
first of all,
Well,
we
first of
are
all,
all
I am
sitting
always
like that.
like
That's
that,
all
but,
fucking.
You know.
But yes, I put you in red, and you fucking like it.
I don't dislike it, but I wanted you to acknowledge that blue is
No,
my
blue is
color.
your color.
Yes.
Blue's your color, but I couldn't
I
find a
appreciate
better
that.
photo of you
No, I appreciate that. Okay.
that felt as dramatic as it needed to be for that photo.
I see.
But so, one of my good friends, let me restart the story. I'll be honest with you. I love this man. I'm very grateful that he invited me to his wedding. I feel very honored to have been invited to his wedding. It was very cool. I think I hung out with this guy like 4 times in my life.
Oh.
Okay.
Which
Wow.
is just
That's
sur-
really random.
Was this like
Right?
a big wedding? Were there like a
Yes.
lot of people?
It
Oh.
was a huge wedding,
Holy
and it was
shit.
only me and my other 2 friends who we've all like kind of casually hung out with him, and they hung out with him a little bit more, but like still not really that much. We were the only ones from our department that were invited.
Okay.
Wasn't he like never here?
Exactly, that's why it was very rare when we hung out with him.
I see.
But so I feel very grateful. I like him a lot. Like he's a cool guy. He's just never here. He's like always in New York. But long story short, I get invited to this wedding, and we were like, oh, who else from physics is going to be there? No one else from physics was there. It was just us. And we show up to this giant Catholic church.
Oh
shit.
boy.
It is a huge So I kind of knew he was Catholic. I didn't know he was this Catholic.
Look alive, Jack.
So we get into the Catholic church, right? We're in there, and the Dionysus,
The
basically
Greek
the
god
guy,
of wine?
no, like the guy who's one step below the Cardinal of San Diego.
There's a cardinal of San Diego?
Yes, there's a cardinal of every.
Fuck?
Yes, there's a cardinal of San Diego.
Of every major city?
Yeah, basically.
The
There's
fuck?
thousands of cardinals. There's millions
It's-
of cardinals.
yeah.
There's a shit ton of them.
I see. How big of it? Wait, sorry, I'm totally derailing you. But like, what is the minimum population density requirement?
I don't think it's
Such
a
that-
population density. It's a church density. You have to have there's a number of churches that makes a parish, and that parish can become like a cathedral. And then a certain number of cathedrals generate enough points, basically,
Points?
that spawns in
That spawns?
Yes, that spawns in an archdiocese, and if you have one of those, and you
What
get
is this,
enough
fucking mobile game?
enough people, basically that's how the Catholic Church operates, baby. And if you get enough of those, then you can apply to get a cardinal, and then you get appointed a cardinal.
Notably, the cardinal does not spawn; he is appointed.
He's appointed, yeah, from one of the priests in your cathedral system, basically.
I should have asked. Okay. Anyway, so the cardinal
Yeah,
of
no.
San Diego is a phrase I have to accept as normal. Go ahead.
There's also a cardinal of Los Angeles. There's a
I don't-
cardinal of Chicago. He's the Pope now. Well, he wasn't of Chicago. He wasn't the
I
cardinal.
mean,
of
but I'm
Chicago.
just thinking about like the other cases, like the fucking cardinal of like Gary, Ohio, or some shit. like how does this
Well,
work?
obviously, he doesn't have a lot of political power, right? He would never become Pope.
Okay, whatever.
That we know of.
That we know of. Yeah, maybe in 300 years when Chicago, Los Angeles, New York have all been nuked and only Gary, Ohio is left.
Let's go.
W. Gary Ohio.
Just no, I voted for you. So basically, he's like the guy who was before the cardinal was the officiant for the wedding.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I'm like in this. We first of all, just for the image of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely not a religious person. This is not my thing. Has never been my thing.
Somehow
In
you're
fact,
not on fire in the church.
Yeah, and I'm also walking in with lesbians who are in a relationship,
I see.
which is awesome to just walk.
But
into
that's
a
okay.
Catholic church. The Catholics?
yeah. Didn't the Pope was like, "Yo, this is cool. You just can't get married."
Okay, so
That's an oversimplification.
yeah, there's a lot going on. Also, when Pope Francis said this, right? All of South America was like, he's not the Pope. He's not
Basically.
like hashtag not our Pope.
Hashtag not our Pope.
No, like I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
and then he clarified. He's like, no, they'll still go to hell. You just can't be mean to them.
Oh, I see.
He clarified.
Okay.
And then-
so
and
we're
then,
taking
you know.
baby steps.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they're just about 1,000 years behind every other
Yeah,
major
yeah, yeah,
religion.
yeah. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
The denomination is all about like hell specifically, so I would be very surprised.
There's too much guilt.
yeah, I would be very surprised if they ever back down.
But
from
yeah,
it.
it's just incredible, to walk into this.
Mhm.
And then we're like, where are we going to sit? And we're like, fuck it, we're taking the left-hand side. So we sit there. And I have never seen such a strong, powerful collection of white people, Like, it's kind of insane. Like I've seen white people in America, and I'm like, you're white. But the Catholic, they're white. That
Yeah.
like you don't have a drop of anyone else in your bloodline I can assure you like 50 generations. You know what I mean? I'm like, god damn. I've never seen this before.
pure ass no. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, like literally everybody looks the same. Like all of his, like I could tell you who was related to who. I'm like, yeah, I can immediately. It was impressive, but basically the it was very surprising because like they did all the sacraments. They had the gospel. Like they had multiple prayers. It lasted about 2 hours.
Holy
It's a
shit.
long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
yeah, and we have to
suffering.
stand so much, just so much. Stand up, sit down,
Mhm.
stand up again, sit down again.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, like, this is interesting because again, I grew up in an Arabic country, and when I see Muslims pray, like sometimes people will say things in unison, and it sounds fine to me. When a bunch of white people say "Praise be to God" and everything to Him, I'm like, I'm gonna get shot. I immediately got scared. I was like, oh, it's too many of you are saying the same thing. Actually, there's a big cross there, and I'm uncomfortable. So all of a sudden, they're all wonderful people. I'm being very rude, but yes. So they did all this, and then And then you know, they did the whole thing. Like, he was talking about, you know, different stories. He talked about how, like, he at one point was the main priest for the Vietnamese community in San Diego, and how he tried to learn Vietnamese, and then, like, the Vietnamese priest is like, please just stop, just speak English and Latin for the love of God, basically. And then I was very confused, because in my understanding, Catholic priests and, like, well, are not supposed to do anything with women. Like, they're not supposed to be married.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like chaste, basically.
But like, he made a lot of jokes like, "Oh, you're gonna learn something that I learned in my old age. It's yes, dear." And I'm like, "You're not supposed to have a deer." Last I checked.
Wait, really? You can't be married?
I'm like
think
90% sure they have to be like
celibate?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was the case.
I'm pretty
maybe
sure
this
that's
maybe
the
this
case.
has been
Updated.
changed, but-
Maybe
yeah,
God sent a new
Patch
patch note.
2.0.
Yeah.
But it's fine. So the whole thing finishes. They have their little thing where they eat the body of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
The
sacrament.
The sacrament.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like I was in a Warhammer like ceremony. It was impressive. I didn't think it was that
Okay.
similar.
Warhammer.
No, see, I see this and I fuck with it. The thing is, like, when it comes to like godly imagery and like things like that, I fuck with it so hard in video games.
Yeah, same.
Like, I think like
I
the
love it in video
like the
games.
paladin archetype and all of these things is really cool. But like in real life, this is like
It's terrifying.
yeah, it's really scary.
It's terrifying. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that this is the shit y'all do.
Well, okay. I get he's wearing the shirt, but you can't do that.
No, I'm kidding. But like, no. This is the thing that's completely normal in America. But you know, when there's Hassan, all of a sudden every American freaks out.
I think it's just what you're familiar with.
Yeah,
I think that's really all it comes down to.
scared the shit out of me when they were all saying it at the same time. Like, this is weird to hear in English. I think.
Yeah.
think
It's
it's
also like, so like I've been in many a church service, and like when the singing happens,
That
right?
scared the shit out of me.
And there's like, you know, there are the people that can just sing along, right? And they don't even need the little book,
yeah.
Oh.
right? And they're just like
This is what
locked
happens.
in, right? And like you can tell, like from their expression, they're like, I'm in it, like I'm doing it, like it's for real, right? And I'm like, I could never.
That's how I felt. Yes, I was
could
like
never do
kind of
that.
scared for a moment. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Group chanting is always a
It
very odd
is scary.
thing.
And Ada and I kept making the joke, and well, I think I got real mad at us, but
Because you're making
because
jokes in
we're
the
making
church
jokes
at a
in the
wedding?
church, yes. And,
No,
and
is
I
she
kept going like,
religious?
what if I start speaking in tongues? And then she's like, what, does he know we're gay?
Is Antoinette religious? Really?
No, but she comes from South America and she grew up with Catholics, so she's like, you guys need to stop. And then at one point, you know, he's like, they were doing the sacrament, and he's like, if you're Catholic, come up and do the sacrament. And
If you're not,
Ed and I were like, oh, free booze. And then it's like, no, they're not giving the alcohol. And she's like, then why are people getting up? We were the worst. We were so bad. But then we were eventually, like, after all this was done, we went to a really pretty winery in Temecula area. It was very pretty. And then that's where they held their, like, everything else, the reception. And mind you, the bride, gorgeous dress. Absolutely beautiful dress. She had,
W dress?
Huh?
W dress?
W. It was beautiful. And she then had 2 more dresses. She had
Whoa.
one for the dance, the official dances.
Dang,
And
dude.
then she had another dress for like when
These
she was
folks gotta be
partying.
loaded.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Like insanely
crazy.
loaded. They're very loaded.
Wait, is he married to someone that's in here in the department or?
No.
Okay.
They also have a crazy story that I'll get to in a second. But basically, they're both very rich. I believe. But what happened was, like, we go to this area and the reception is huge. The food was like tri-tip steak,
Yeah.
And like just shit like that was very good. And they had like a whole like buffet, and you could just go grab it whenever you wanted. I ate so much food. I was dying. And they had a full open bar, and the drinks that were getting poured were very strong.
Generous.
They were very generous, and we started drinking at like 3. It lasted till like 12. I wasn't a person when I got home. I'm like rolling to bed. But they had a beer donkey.
The fuck is that?
All right, yeah, you got us. You
Which
can't.
is so cute. He was the most adorable little creature. Sorry, she was the most adorable little creature.
Misgendering in June. It's crazy.
Look at her.
Oh.
Look at her. Beer donkey.
Donkey.
What the?
Why?
What is-
So this is
why,
cute, but also why?
Because he just runs around with beers, and you go get a fucking beer, get a brewski.
beer.
Here, look, you got treats. Oh, baby. It's a big baby.
So why?
I just don't.
Because it was cute.
Okay.
It is cute. He is a cute. She's a cute.
She walked around, and you just go
And
get beer.
And it's just like on her back. How does it not fall off?
Because she's strong.
What?
The beer.
She's strong.
It's strapped to baskets on. Do you
Oh
understand
no,
how-
it's on the basket.
Do you understand?
Okay, I thought it was like on the back of
No.
the donkey.
Did you not see the basket?
No,
of
I
beer?
can't see very good. It's like,
Yes.
did somebody? Do you got a video of it pulling out of the?
No, it's just
and
like
it's
little
bottled
buckets on
beer.
the
Yeah, it's
on the
bottled
saddle.
beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
I
just
understand.
baskets on
I
the
get it.
saddle.
So I've decided that every event that we throw has to have a beer donkey now because it was so funny.
How much does it cost to have a beer donkey?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I'm assuming it's not. I had a very interesting conversation with this lady.
I mean, you could probably rent a donkey, like not way too
Yeah.
expensive.
I mean, you
like-
give me $50 and I'll do anything really.
Yeah.
It's just-
I was gonna say what beer donkey? What's that? Hassan at the keg race or something?
So
no, he's not a donkey. He's a fucking traitor. Is what he
traitor
is.
and a rat and a thief.
Anyway.
But we'll get to that. But basically, this beer donkey was run, and then they also had a full brass orchestra supplied with music.
Damn.
Trombone,
Right?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
tuba,
it's crazy.
French horn.
It's crazy. And then they had all this,
Baritone.
and
Trumpet.
but then the music started, and all of a sudden these heathens, they started shaking ass on there. And I'm like, I thought you were good Catholics. You just came from literal church. And
Yes, you can come from church, but also, what if you have like 10 beers in you from the beer donkey?
This is very true.
You know, like,
But no, it was a cool wedding. The guy, they're also both very nice people. I've only had good interactions with them. It was just very surprising to get the invite. I'm like, oh wow, and then like being the only one from physics there, I'm like, wow, like, I mean, we always considered you a friend. I was just surprised that like he would go all out there. It was nice. It was like
Yeah.
200 people.
I
It was
think
a shit.
sometimes there's just like, yeah, I was just gonna say like sometimes they gotta up those numbers.
But but yeah, so like the whole event was interesting. There was an old Chinese man who was fucking throwing it down, and his
Let's
family
fucking
was
go.
so ashamed of him. Just
Man has fun.
Yeah,
Everyone hated that.
it's okay.
yeah, his
What it
kid
is.
is a fucking genius, and I made fun of him for it. And he's like, and then Tom's like, yeah, you got hit by Hassan, didn't you? And he's like, yeah. Basically, this guy is getting his MD from Columbia. And he's also getting, at the same time while doing his MD, he's getting a PhD in business from Columbia. So he's doing both simultaneously. He's getting an MD, PhD.
Damn.
Just from the small public arts university of Columbia.
That's right. Yeah.
And
They sure are
like-
now.
Yeah, yeah, and then
That
he's
kind
just
of
like,
fun?
yeah, because his one of Thomas's, gonna cut that. Easy. Don't want to have his name in here. I said the person's name.
I think I also did.
You did too?
Oh, we'll have to look at it.
We'll have to look at it.
We'll
It's
look at
fine.
it.
I know what
Do
the
some of them little bleeps.
bleeps.
You know?
Beep, beep, beep.
But basically, one of the guy's brothers was just like, yeah, and he's the second smartest person besides X, and that was X, the guy I was talking to, the the son of the Chinese father who was dancing. And at one point there was a conversation, and he was bragging. He was bragging a lot. And I was just like, yeah, but like, are you half as cool as your dad dancing on the fucking dance floor? Because he was just like hiding in the corner. He's like, yeah, I'll dance too. All right, let's go. Let's fucking do it. I dragged him to the dance floor, and this awkward nerd like was fighting for his life against his dad, who was killing him. His dad was murdering him. He was the life of the party. It was awesome. And then one of my friends got so blackout drunk. She was so fucking pissed. It was so bad that we eventually, like, the night comes to a close, and she's still like singing this song basically. We're like, no, you need to, and like anything is distracting her, so I'm like randomly pulling shit out of my pockets to like distract her to make her stop singing. Like, that's how blackout. Oh my gosh. And then eventually she gets into the Uber. Like, we all push her into the Uber, and we had the chillest Uber driver ever. Thank God. Because she's like, where are you taking me? And we're like, we're taking you home. Like, you know, she's like, no, I'm not tired. I want to keep going. Where's the nearest bar? And she starts screaming. She wants to keep going. She wants to keep going. And we're like, no, you want to go to bed. Like we're all tired. We just want to go to sleep. And then
this is not bedtime for a 5-year-old right now. That's crazy.
She's like, no, Hassan, have you ever like partied in Temecula? I was like, no, this is like where my parents are. I don't usually go party here. She's like, we have to do it. I'm like, oh my God. And then I was like, there's just like old cowboy bars here and all of this shit. And the Uber driver, son of a bitch, she's like, no, I know of a club. And I'm like, you shut your fucking mouth.
-2 stars.
Don't help us here.
And then like we eventually make it home, and then they're like, oh, just go lay in bed. You'll go to sleep. And then she's like, no, if I go and lay in bed, then we won't make it out again. She's like, no, just lay in bed for like a few minutes, and then we'll go out. And she immediately fucking knocked out.
Yeah.
She saw the pillow, and she was out. And then
don't worry, we will go out for ice cream. After your nap.
Just after your nap, exactly. Come on, honey, just lay down for like 4 minutes. And then the next morning. The next morning, they both come out of the room, and the lady who was hungover just like looks at me. She's like, I blacked out, and we're like, yeah, we know. And she goes, I don't know when I blacked out. I don't think I blacked out for most of it. And we're like, what's the last thing you'll remember? And she's like, we were dancing on the dance floor, and then we got photo booth photos. Mind you, there was like a whole hour and a half of the party left post that. So she was gone for so long. I'm like, you remember getting cake? She's like, I don't remember eating cake. I don't eat cake. I don't like cake. We're like, well, you had 4 pieces of cake. And then we told her what happened in the Uber. She's like, I would never do that. And we're all like, dude, why are we lying to you right now? You're the one who got blackout drunk. So yeah, that was my Saturday.
All it takes is a beer donkey, huh?
It was a beer. Dude, she drank so much. She drank so much. They also sold the most vile thing known to mankind, which I actually really like whiskey, or like rum and cokes or whiskey and cokes. They're fine.
Sure.
But this rendition of the whiskey and coke, it was more whiskey than anything else. It was like it would coat the back of your throat with whiskey, and you're like, oh my God, this is the strongest thing I've ever had.
Yeah, no, you either need to like go all in and just have it neat, or it needs to be like a sufficient amount to
it tasted like crushed cherries with all the bitter of like whiskey. Oh God, gave you hair on your chest. I'm not joking. It was so strong. And they also had this one was actually really good. It was vodka with lemonade and like Sprite. It was decent. It was actually really good. I had a lot of those, but I'm partial to vodka over whiskey. What else was notable about the party? It was pretty warm. was
Yeah,
fucking hot as
Saturday was
shit.
warm.
It was very, very warm. But yeah, that was my Saturday. That's the story I wanted to tell you guys.
Nice. It sounds like it was a good time.
It was a very good time. Also, love the two of them. They're wonderful people. Congratulations. Sorry about all the Catholicism jokes. I had to get them out.
Don't be sorry.
Thank you. They have a new pope. Oh, he also said by the power of the new pope. I forget his name.
By the power?
Yeah, that's what gave him the power to like wed them.
Yeah.
Whoa. That sounds like
Because he
They
only
draw their
answers
power from God.
because you have to always apparently you have to like say that you get the power from the guy above you, but the guy above him is like the cardinal and the pope, and the cardinal and the pope are like similar-ish. The pope is the cardinal of
Pope is just the
is the-
cardinal of the cardinals.
he's the chosen
He's like-
cardinal that represents God.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
I feel like you don't appreciate the insane Europeanness of how you're
No, yeah,
Say
that's-
that word again.
No, it's just insane. It's just, like whatever.
It's
it's
an
the
incredible
European,
network.
It's the
crazy.
Europeans doing their shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's it.
I love the little thing. Yeah. So tell me what you want to talk about Friday. I feel like there was
so-
nothing happened on Friday.
Yeah, nothing happened.
fucking
There
wish.
wasn't high treason or anything like that.
All right, go
So-
for it.
So on Friday, there was a keg race. There's a keg race that happens between departments here yearly,
Yeah.
right? This is the first time I've participated in this, right?
Which is surprising.
I don't know. I don't go outside very often.
This is the first time I participated in it.
Yes.
Which is less surprising because you don't drink beer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is surprising.
Yeah. But anyway, so physics participates.
Generational losers.
Right? We are not the best, right? It was my assumption that we actually were pretty good going into this. But
We were pretty good.
I don't think we can be pretty good right now. I don't think
We don't have the
it's
talent.
not in the cards.
We don't have the talent. We don't have the draft picks.
Yeah, we don't have the commitment to
We don't have
the
the
cause.
trade. Okay. We had already lost by this point. But anyway,
Okay, well, you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead of yourself right now,
I'm sorry.
okay?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. So there's a keg race that happens, right?
I already
And
know what
there's a whole
the thumbnail
bunch.
is just going to be me as Mitch Marner. That's all I'm saying. Sorry.
So there's a keg race, and like the departments compete against one another, right? And the keg race. The whole point is you finish the keg first, right? That's the entirety of the thing, right? So it comes down to basically drink the beer as quick as possible, right? That's like the majority of the prompt. There are other things that go into this, as we realized. There is the pouring aspect out of the keg, right? The rate.
Which I think we were rigged.
I agree. I think it was rigged as fuck.
I think we're
'cause-
fucking rigged.
I think
Yeah.
only EPS knows how to tap it correctly.
No, I tapped it correctly. I think we were fucking rigged. I'll explain later. Continue.
So, the things that contribute to this, of course, are, the objective is to empty the keg. So problem number 1, getting the beer out of the keg, right? Increasing that speed will increase everything else, right? Number 2, the beer has to be consumed, right? So you have to have people drinking the beer, right?
I drank
And then-
more than you.
And then,
I drank more than him.
and then additionally, there's another problem that's kind of in between those, which is ensuring that the beer is distributed to the people that can drink the beer,
Yes.
right? So there are kind of like 3 things to optimize in this process, right? In order to like take the, win the competition. But we did not have these parameters optimized.
Okay, let me just talk about the tapping of the keg, because I am like BP when it comes to tapping beer kegs. British Petroleum. I spill everywhere, but I get the job done. So, come on, that was a fucking banger joke. I hate that I had to explain it a little bit.
Just explain how you did it right.
Sorry. So So what you're supposed to do when you tap these things is you lock it in, and you basically pop the there's like a ball thing in there, and you push it down. So that's exactly what I did, and I think these idiots basically, like when they transported the kegs upstairs, they shook these things. So there was like so much pressure that when from the initial like penetration, it undid the lock. And that's why you saw that shit shoot like 2 feet in the fucking air. Because like there was so much pressure in that goddamn keg to begin with. So either they overfilled it, which I don't think the business is going to do. Not the government. The government will fucking don't care. The business who sold them this is going to do because they'll waste money. Or they like when transporting shook these kegs.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, the team behind us, the ones that won, started fucking pouring out the foam into cups before the competition started.
What?
Yes.
No way. Really?
Yes, that's what I was calling out.
What?
I'm like, why are you guys pouring? And they're like, there's so much foam before it starts. And I'm like, yes, that means you guys shook these things. That's why there's so much fucking foam.
I didn't know this.
There was cups already filled
didn't know that they
before
had-
the call
You
started.
can't do that.
I'm not joking. And that's why I was so mad. That's why I started filling. And they yelled at me. And I'm like, you guys did it.
That's so stupid.
Okay, I didn't know this.
No,
I didn't
that's
know
why
this.
I was so mad.
Well,
know
no
this.
wonder why they fucking win all the time.
Yeah, no, that's why I was
Do that
absolutely
shit.
pissed. I was like,
Nah,
you
that's
guys are
stupid.
pouring out the foam.
That's part of
We
the
had to
fucking
No,
game.
no, no. You
Yeah.
gotta. I think that they need to, in the starting timer.
We have to
right,
put them in.
The start has to be okay. You can tap the keg now, right?
Oh.
that should be a part of the timer.
Oh no, I would say we should all like. What should happen is while people are setting up the tables, all the kegs get tapped at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that way the foam settles at the same time.
Yeah.
And you don't have like people who are popping like basically kegging up or like tapping
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's fine.
before the call time. And also you don't have fucking bullshit like pouring out the
Yeah,
foam first.
exactly. Well, I was gonna say also, if you just take out the keg tapping part and you normalize it across the board, that's one less parameter.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is not to measure how well the kegs are tapped anyway. It's just who drinks the most.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you can just have a standardized like, okay, we're just gonna tap the kegs right now, and like nobody just open the tap. Just like let us do it. Like let the staff or whatever do it first.
Yeah.
Like that would go really hard.
I completely agree. But I think genuinely bullshit, I called it out, was when they're fucking pouring out the head initially.
That's
And I
crazy.
said, you guys are pouring out the head. I'm going to pour out the head. And then they called the start of the competition, which is like, why are you? That's unfair.
Yeah,
That's
no,
crazy.
that's stupid as hell.
Yeah, that's not a keg race anymore. You're
No.
cheating.
Yeah,
You let everybody
exactly.
pour out the head, or we all do it at the same
We
time.
all have to suffer the head.
Yes. Anyway.
Damn. I had no
Anyway,
idea.
and I will before this starts. I had like 8 beers.
He's trying to defend himself already.
Yeah, he's already trying to defend himself. right?
Now I'm done. I'm done.
So, so we aren't the most prepared going into this. Okay.
we have a fucking bowl.
we only have a single bowl, right? The other
Salad
guys,
bowl.
Yeah, a salad bowl. The other guys had like 3 pitchers. They like obviously were ready. They had like a distribution system, and like they were running beer to people that needed the beer, right? And like we're just kind of like all standing around and like not getting out of each other's way after we get beer from the bowl. Okay.
Yeah, we had one guy who was just
But-
taking too much.
Yeah, he was going hard. So before this starts, right, Hassan is talking to us. He's like, hey guys, look, we need to be no talking.
Yeah.
Right? No talking during this process. We can't be using our mouths for anything other than
drinking
beer. Okay.
And I agree.
And I'm like, all right, yeah,
That's
cool.
what I did.
I'm on board. It's all good, right? And then he notices that there are pizzas.
No,
right?
you're skipping ahead.
I'm not skipping ahead. I'm not, right? He notices that there are pizzas out, right? And he's like, the physics people better not be eating pizza.
True.
Right? He was like, because that is calories that you could be using for beer.
Yes.
Right? Because you're going to get full and you're not going to be able to drink as much.
Yes.
Right? So he's all upset when the physics people start to like take pizzas, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like eating and everything, and like
I still
Hassan
agree with all of
Is
this.
seething. Hassan is so
I'm
mad.
so
He's
mad.
like-
I am
he's
mad.
Like, fuck, like all of this, right? And then the competition is starting to begin, right? And like people were like ready to drink, right? And Hassan goes hard in the competition, right? He goes hard as fuck. He's drinking as much as he can, right? He gets a lot in, right? More than I did. I think I got like 6 or something, right?
I don't know.
But at some point, it's obvious we're done, right?
The other team won.
The other team won.
It wasn't obvious when
And-
the other team won.
And and Hassan is like disappointed, right? And he's like, okay, well, let's just like walk around a little bit. He starts to walk around, heads over the pizza table.
I do.
The physics
We
keg,
lost.
physics keg, not empty. You, a warrior, pouring, surrounded by drunks. In the heat of battle.
Potentially the funniest thing I've ever done in my life.
let me fucking explain.
No,
fucking
go ahead.
point of
Yeah,
this.
This is so
you're
funny.
okay,
Everything's absolutely fucked. Okay.
This is so funny.
First of all, before any of this starts, Hassan elects me. I understand that he doesn't have like the what is it? The election rights to do so.
I don't, but I
I'm
still did it.
elected. I got elected as the beer pourer outer. Okay.
Yes.
And this is getting around, and James is like, "Oh, okay, here's the salad bowl." And I'm like, "What?" And then I'm worried about like if I do this wrong, there's gonna be foam everywhere, and I'm like worried about like getting the right angle and all this stuff. And then like
Potentially the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Actually,
We're not even talking about you right now.
and then the tapping of the keg happens, and then we're trying to figure out what the hell this is. I'm feeling so much stress. I'm not even expecting this many fucking people to show up.
Mhm.
Like this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's gonna be so embarrassing because I do not drink at all. I've never tapped a keg. I've never done any of this, and of course I'm gonna be probably the worst possible candidate for this type of shit. Whatever, beer, the thing gets tapped, and it's not flowing right or something, and like the rate is not super high, and so the guy next to me who's pumping is like trying to figure
That
out
was
what the
his
pump
fault,
rate is.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
but
why
it's like,
he
it's
chose
like,
to be the
it's
pumper.
it's all foamy. I'm like, okay, wait, the fucking angle. I don't know. And like surely person by person, there's they're doing their job. They're scooping from the bowl, or like I'm tapping directly into their cups, and every person's like, yeah, it's like really foamy, man. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm trying my fucking best, dude. I don't know. Like no one was like, you're fucking doing it wrong. But I'm to myself like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like it's all foam. I don't know. And like I'm not even making eye contact with people, right? I see cup, fucking go.
Yeah.
I see bowl is not empty, fucking go. Bowl is getting to the. I'm also having it at an angle, so like before the liquid pours out, I'm like, okay, wait, bowl's full. Come on, like. I'm not making eye contact with nobody, and I'm just fucking panicking, and like EPS wins fucking 10 million years before everyone else, and I'm still
because
fucking
they pre-poured their fucking heads.
because they fucking cheated. Whatever. Anyway, I'm still fucking tapping shit. Like I'm still in like let's just finish the keg mode, right? Regardless. And obviously, I noticed there's people who are trying really fucking hard. I notice people who are not trying hard at all. They're just yapping.
Yeah.
And it also, in the middle of all of this, I'm like, I haven't seen those two in a while. I look over. And what do I see?
Explain how I found the pizza.
Yeah. So we go over. So we're on our mission, right? We've lost, right? And Hassan is upset.
Smash
right?
cut to the other perspective.
Yeah. And we're on a little mission, right? Because I'm just like, all right, well, like, where are you going? Like, I might as well follow you, right? And we get to the pizza table, and all the pizza boxes are empty, right? And Hassan's like, oh man, I wish there were pizza here. Like, God, that would be so nice to have pizza right now.
Because I was
Right?
mad. I was like, we lost to the fucking cheaters again.
Yep. So he's like, okay, well, a bummer, whatever. So we start heading back, right? Because we're like, okay, we got to finish the keg, right? No problem, right? And what does he see on the roof but a plate?
It was God, actually.
Adorned with a single slice of cheese pizza.
It was
Just sitting there.
Just there.
Just there, glistening
Oh.
in the nice May sun on this roof. And his vision's probably a little like, like that. And it's probably the most gorgeous thing he's ever seen.
It was beautiful.
And he
It was my
turns to me.
consolation prize.
And he turns to me and he says, Patrick, would you hate me if I stole this piece of pizza?
No, I said, would you think less of me?
Oh, would I think less of you?
Because I only care about my
Piece
friends'
of pizza.
opinions.
Yeah.
You should have said yes.
Yeah.
You should have said yes.
And then I also saw Will, and I'll be honest, in my head, I'm like, the funniest thing in the world is if, well, the funniest thing in the world is if this is his pizza that he saved in the corner, and I would be eating it in front of him. And the second funniest thing in the world is if he makes eye contact with me as I'm demolishing a pizza while he's being accosted by a bunch of drunk physics nerds. That I'm the reason that he's over there. And
So the thoughts won. And he picked up that slice of pizza and he fucking went for it. And
cut back to me.
And cut back to you.
I look over and like behind the group of fucking yappers, what do I see? I see the towering man that is Hassan just fucking diving his face into the cheese pizza. The man who called everyone a traitorous fucking piece of shit for doing so.
That's right.
And you know what? I also had so many comments about the pizza myself before we started. I'm like, damn, it smells so good.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
It was so good.
You know what? I have
yeah.
dinner plans, but also like in solidarity, you know, I'm not gonna have
And
it.
I was also like a little bit, alcohol in me, so it tasted even better.
And I fucking held.
Oh.
But the guy who's in the fucking competition,
was
they're
so
fucking
funny.
hold.
It was so funny.
And this is why we'll stay generational losers.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right, because of Hassan.
I was like, we fucking lost. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was so mad that this happened again.
It's bullshit that happened to
But
us.
but no, I think genuinely if they hadn't like poured the head out next year, I'm bringing 3 pitchers.
Yeah, no, pitchers are the way. And you know what? They had the optimal positioning too, right?
They had the most space.
Yeah, they had the most space. So their keg was on the ground, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they had their keg on the table.
They had
They
a
did?
table.
The ones
Okay.
next to us had it on the ground.
Okay. But so they had it, right? And then they had like a whole area so they can sit in a circle.
Yeah, it was
basically, to run
bullshit.
the
They
thing.
had huge circle.
And they just had one person at the keg basically constantly pouring, and then like people would run pitchers around.
I was
right?
really annoyed.
And whereas ours is like a middle table, and like 80% of the people are off to the side, like on the other side where the beer is not
And
getting
there's
poured.
a fucking
right?
like observatory in the way.
Yeah, and then there's the dude,
literal observatory.
There's a dude that just like sits at the bowl,
Yes.
right? And he's
Oh,
a champion,
yes, he's a
right?
champion.
He put him back, right? But like he did not move out of the way after he got the beer, like every time basically. So that's like impossible to get to the bowl. So we just, there are many parameters to optimize for this, and we didn't do any.
Pizza needs to be fucking banned.
Yeah. Honestly, I honestly agree. I saw the opportunity to have one of the funniest bits I've ever run in my life.
I don't think that you thought for a second about the bit. I think.
Oh,
that,
no,
I
no,
think
no.
that you saw the pizza and was like, "Oh God, eat the pizza."
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
post hoc rationalizing your
What
fucking
the fuck you're
actions.
talking about? You don't live in my brain. It's just-
Okay.
Yeah, but like,
don't
it doesn't
think I
take a
have-
lot to guess that that's what fucking happened. No, I think it's really
I'll run
funny.
defense for myself every day of the week.
Yes, no. Comedian genius Hassan, 8 beers deep, realizes this would be funny.
Whoa, this will be one for the books. But also, I'm
But
kind of hungry right
no,
now.
honestly, what ran through my head was I'm not getting drunk and having Drew drive me home for second place. That's the honest thing that went to my mind. I'm like, yeah, fuck all you guys. I got 8 beers deep. Well, like, I genuinely saw someone only take one fucking cup and drink it, which is fine.
I mean,
you should
there's
never be
tons of
peer pressured into drinking alcohol. But if you're in a fucking competition,
Yeah, you're in a keg. Okay, so like I agree. Yes, you shouldn't be pressured into doing it, right? But like the assignment is understood, right? Like everybody knows that this is what's going on, right? And then there are people there that I don't think had any drinks,
Yeah.
yes,
right? And I think it was a sizable portion of
Yeah.
the crowd,
yes.
and I don't understand.
Like the person who
Like, don't show up.
who drank like 12 beers was there with his 2 friends, and they just stood in the corner and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then honestly, James and just throwing the beer keg around.
That was
Yeah,
insane.
no,
That was insane,
was-
yeah.
that was
So
crazy.
dangerous, but
That was
so-
really dangerous.
That's how I watched as Jim Bro was born that day.
No, but like he was always that.
No. James, and every time he threw the keg and
Uh-huh.
was captured, I witnessed in the crowd of young men. They saw.
I
They're like,
see.
oh.
Oh, I could be
I
him.
I
Oh.
could throw keg. That's what I mean. And Jim Bro was born that day.
I see. Yeah, no, it was like, I was in the mode of like, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. But also, maybe I shouldn't be telling the guy that's like 3 times my size with a big fucking metal weapon in his hand.
Yeah, and many beers under his belt.
Yeah. At
But
least
yeah.
nobody got hurt. But they tossed it back like at least like 3 times.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was a fun experience. It was a good time.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
But like also just for context, that day along with Saturday, I had alcohol like 5 days in a row,
Yeah,
which is the
that's a
most
lot.
I have ever had in my life.
That's a lot.
That's
yeah.
so much. And then I'm like, oh, thank God it's Sunday. I don't have to drink anything.
It's the Lord's
I
Day.
don't have
Drink
to
his
do
sacrament.
anything. I have no alcohol plans till at least the weekend. And even then it might be like one drink as I ship my friend off one last time. Because right now he's taking his dog over. He'll be back, and then like he's moving all of his furniture, and I think he wants to get beers before he leaves. But that's it. And I'm like, oh, the liver. I like how
The healing.
Josh was like, oh, you get fatty liver from alcohol.
Yes.
Famously.
Yes.
Oh man. What else? What else happened? I feel like last week. What happened?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've just been in the lab, man.
You've
fair.
been going hard.
Yeah,
I
I'm just in there.
I got absolutely cooked on Saturday. It was really hot out, and I decided to go for like an outside run.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh.
there are multiple things, right? I couldn't go in the morning because we had to take Zoe's car to the dealership. And then they wouldn't be ready until like 3 p.m. or something, and so we came back. We had some brunch or whatever, so I rested and stuff. And then I was like, maybe I should try like these new running shoes because they got me some new running shoes to try. And I was like,
Nice.
oh, yeah, thanks. And then it was already off to a really good start because they were working on making like a cold side we did Korean barbecue at home that night as well. And they just opened a bottle of like laogama, where's like it's just like the spicy topping, like it's like a bean paste basically that you use.
Oh,
in
okay.
like
I was
a-
thinking something
yeah,
different.
it's like basically cheating, honestly, because it just makes anything taste fucking better. It's just what it is. But it's like a chili. It's just a chili oil, right? But they had some on their hands still, and I was like, maybe these are too big. And so you do the thing with like squeezing like the tip of the shoe or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they still had some oil on their hand, and they squeezed the tip of the shoe, and so immediately there's this instantly like a red stain on like these just these like beautiful white shoes, just immediately frame one. Like, oh
That's
fuck, I didn't even get to run in them yet. And I tried to wipe them off, but
it makes it worse.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It was there. And so by the time I head out, it's like 2 p.m. during the day.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
it was
like
extreme.
heat.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
it was disgusting. It was bad.
Jesus.
And also, I hadn't run in a minute, so I wasn't controlling my pace very well. So my first mile, I kind of blasted, and then I passed like the usual underpass spot, and then I was like, wait, like I think I burned a little bit too much. Maybe I should slow the hell down. But then of course, I got punished for this maximally on the way back because I'm really tired, and then it's also slightly uphill coming back, everything. And I'm like dying, and I'm like huffing and puffing. And apparently around this time, Zoe and their cousin were on the way out to go pick up the car, and they passed by me in their cousin's car. And like it was at this intersection, and they were like waving and shouting at me, and like they're like trying to cheer me on or something. But I was plugged the fuck in, and I was just trying to not die. To be honest, I was trying to not make news. Okay, I was trying to make it the fuck home.
Man dies of heat stroke.
Random guy.
We
died.
would be grieving him, but why the fuck did he run at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, I could see off the reflection of like a nearby car that I was fucking like red as fuck, and they said that I was red as fuck. I think that was probably like the thirstiest I've like ever been, like ever. Period.
Damn.
Like I never think
Wow.
about like drinking water during exercising because like I know that it's gonna give me cramps and stuff. So I'm never like, oh, I'm like thirsting for this, but like just the raw like on the way back, the sun is just beating my back because of course I went shirtless, and like all of these things added together, and I was just like, holy fuck, I really need to like make it home basically.
Yeah. So I actually have a weird companion story to this. When we go to the gym, there's that one dude, the like super white guy.
Super
we
white
talk
guy.
about him sometimes.
Maybe.
He's like the super pretty boy white guy.
Maybe.
By the time I go to the dog park and walk home, he is running back from Kinross.
Let's go.
Just for perspective, that means he works out. So he runs there, presumably, works out. We work out. We go home. I then take Zelda to the dog park for at least an hour. And then on my way back from the dog park, he is in the process of running home.
What?
So he's there for like 2 hours and runs to Kinross and back home every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
That's a long time.
That's
like
too long at the
Yeah,
gym.
it's like almost 3 hours a day of working out. Like first thing in the
Yeah.
morning too.
Yeah.
Which is some David Goggins type shit.
Yeah.
crazy.
But I
Oh.
feel like the correlation between like longer amount of workout time scales like linearly with how badly you need therapy. So
To be fair, he does these workouts that in my mind I see and I'm like, it's the most white guy workout shit I've ever seen in my life. He's jacked, but I feel like he's not jacked.
If it's the same guy I think of, yeah.
Huh?
If it's the guy I'm thinking of, yeah.
He's jacked, but I don't think he's jacked because like he has good technique or like a good. I think he just does so much that at some point the muscles like
It
I
just
will
pays
grow
off. Yeah.
because some of the movements he does, I'm like, there's no way. Like this is what you're doing. Like he'll do like bent over rows.
Okay.
But like he doesn't really bend over all that much, and like I will bend over row like 110 pounds. And the guy is bigger than me, and he picks up like the 60, and he does them at like warp speed. Like it's like 20 bent over rows, lightning fast. So I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
The eccentric is just gravity,
Yeah,
basically.
it's basically,
He's just
yeah.
like-
He's doing him so fast. So, but yeah, that's one of those guys. I have one more topic. If you guys don't have one, it's not really that funny, but like it's a phenomenon of like fandom that I
Sure,
really
go
want
for
to
it.
cover, but I want to reset this.
Phenomenon.
Femininomenon. It's a femininomenon.
Yeah, it's Pride Month. It wasn't even for that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everyone in their mom fucking texting me right now? Very annoying.
Oh no, I have friends.
Why do you have that many moms?
Yeah, someone has to keep a marriage together. So I'm, the Andor just came out, and I know everybody in their
Oh, yeah,
is basically
everybody
telling you
watches
to
it.
fucking watch this show.
Everybody
and
watches
it's
it.
incredible. It's the best Disney Star Wars product that has ever come out. Like, and I say this
Damn.
completely true.
I
Like
have yet
it
to
is.
watch.
So Rogue One is great.
Yes, Rogue One, good.
This makes Rogue One better, and it is better than Rogue One.
Whoa.
So I mean, if you, the character is the same character as Rogue One. It's
Mhm.
about Cassian Andor, who's one of the leads in Rogue One, and the show basically just like covers the Empire and like how it operates,
Okay.
and like how he gets started in the revolution or the rebellion. But like what's interesting about the show is that the writers of the show are very quote unquote woke, as people
Woke.
are saying.
Uh-oh.
Yes, big uh-ohs.
Uh-oh.
And they also hired like a lot of actors that are historically very outspoken. So one of the lead characters, I forget her in-movie name. It's some Star Wars mishmash of words, but like she's like the regional director, and she's just an outright fucking fascist. Like she does certain things in the TV show that I'm not going to spoil that are like really, really just horrific. And she is an Irish actress, and very famously during an interview, because for some reason I think the English royal community of actors or something wanted to give her an award, and she's like, I'm not taking anything from the fucking English. And then they're like, oh, why? And she's like, well, the same colonial powers that were like used on the English were then used in the Middle East and all of these things. And like people are freaking out that, how dare she say this? How dare she reject the Royal Institute of the Arts? Like just shit like that. And people are like, basically, this is the woke propaganda that's being it's like seeping into Star Wars.
It's the woke mind virus.
Sure. Whatever.
Right? But like, this doesn't make any sense because Star Wars was originally already fucking woke as shit. Like the rebels are very obvious. Like even George Lucas went on live television and is just like one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. He's like very openly said that Vietnam,
happened.
like it's based off of Vietnam and how the U.S. are the empire.
No, this never happened. Star Wars is just about a bunch of good guys doing stuff to a bunch of bad guys.
They do terrorism.
No.
This ain't a war movie, Hassan.
Yeah, come on now. Yeah, don't apply this weird ideology to this.
Yeah,
situation.
I think this is just you're
This
just
is not
outing yourself
me,
as
this
woke
is
right
him
now.
Yeah.
explaining it.
He never said that.
There's videos. But yeah, so like this
What is
is
this,
number
You see
one.
what AI
Literature
can do
or whatever?
nowadays.
Yeah. Huh?
This is comparative literature. and we
Comparative
can't have that
literature.
here.
Yes, is right. But like, it's crazy to me. Number one, that like historically, Star Wars has always been like incredibly progressive and incredibly woke, if you want to use that term. But the other thing that was like very strange to me is how mad people are getting at. So basically, the whole TV show kind of like shows how the rebellion is a collection of people. And like how there's even like a Che Guevara figure type guy.
There he goes comparing again.
No, he's literally namesaked after Che Guevara. His name is Saw Guevara.
What a coincidence.
Could be anybody.
Okay. Anyway, so like he is like one of those type figures. Is also like it just kind of shows you how seedy the rebellion was initially, how they made their money. They like did a lot of like underground deals. They did a lot of like assassinations. There's even Rogue One, the inner city fight scenes. The people who made it were open like, yeah, the way the rebels fight is like how Hamas fought Israel in 2004. Like they openly said this for Rogue One that everybody just forgot, I guess. like they just like they kind of just show how like the rebels kind of did their whole thing, that like it's not all glitz and glamour. And then people are now mad that because of Rogue One and because of Andor, specifically because of Andor, it like ruins the New Hope and all the original trilogy movies. Because
ruin them?
Huh?
Well, yeah.
Because the story in these people's minds, these simpletons, in my opinion, is like it is a collection of 3 heroes, maybe 4 if you count Chewie.
How could you not count you?
I don't like Chewie. So these 4 heroes.
Let's just put Jar Jar on there too. Fuck it.
Yeah. So like they're like, well, because the original story, right? Like at the end of the movies, they're like the ones that are super decorated and they get all the medals.
Okay.
And people are like, it's such a cool movie that like a small group of people can fight back against the Empire, and like them expanding on the Rebel Network and how everything worked, and like making the Rebel Network a group of assassins and like people who do drug deals and are going to prostitution dens and running all these shady deals, even though Han Solo did all of this famously.
No, but he cool guy. We'll go on.
Okay, sorry. But like people are like really fucking pissed about this TV show, even
think
though
Star
it's
Wars fans-
incredibly good.
Star Wars fans just suck ass.
They're insane.
Yeah.
But like, how do you watch that piece of media and like have these opinions and you like that piece of media?
I think a lot of people, no offense, are just subject to nostalgia factor, And I think this is just a problem that shows in a lot of different kinds of like long running media, where you have this like classic like sort of team of like 5 characters, and they're all like really well defined and very cool, and they like contribute to the team and contribute to like the story in their own like really creative and different ways, and like the producers from that point on are then like, remember this guy? You guys like him, right? Like, what if he's like, I don't know. What if he just does the same shit again? What if that happens? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, let's fucking go.
This is true.
And then if you try to add depth to a new character to try to like, I don't know, add more to the depth of the original character, they view it as like supplanting, like replacing.
But that's
even.
crazy.
I know. It's really
You're
stupid.
expanding on the world that you love and like, and
Yeah.
you have more characters to love and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when they watched the first movie, they were like 7 and they didn't have any like problems in their life.
I think
and
so.
then now they have like rent to pay.
And they
Yeah.
watch
And
it
they-
and they're like, we bad guys.
Yeah.
And they realize that they're the bad guys.
I don't even think they realize that they're bad guys.
Oh.
I
No.
think that's a self-reflection that is completely lost.
this thing kind of like came to a head with people getting really mad at the show was because there's a section of the show, this is light spoilers, that's on the carceral system
Okay.
where people are given arbitrary sentences,
Okay.
and it's kind of obvious that like they're given arbitrary sentences to aliens that don't look like humans or people who are running randomly or like considered in bad neighborhoods and they're not white basically.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that they're like American police just arrest whoever the fuck
Yeah,
they
yeah,
want
yeah.
and you don't have any say in it.
Yeah.
And then they also have like the theme of the carceral system is that they're indentured servants. And after they're done with their term, they get immediately like just shifted to another factory to keep being indentured servants. And then basically people got really mad. They're like, whoa, you're making the criminals, because then there's like a whole scene where like you're supposed to relate to these characters because your main friend character is in there for no reason.
Yeah.
And people are like, they're making cops look bad and like the prison system look bad. Those are people working because they did something bad for society. And
You
they
know
have
what?
to, like,
Actually, that's
really
actually
help.
pretty good. That's pretty good for them in the sense that like they recognize a parallel is being drawn with
Yeah,
reality.
but they get so mad at it.
Because I honestly don't think that people with that take usually have the media literacy to even be mad about it.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you just simplify it even further, it's just like, oh, of course, bad guy bad. Because bad guy is doing slavery and shit like that. So,
Mhm.
like, you know, more reason to hate the empire and stuff like that. But now it's really odd that they suddenly have media literacy when it's coming to, like, oh, they're trying to say something about the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They're
All right.
just-
You wake up for, like, 1 second, and that's what you have to say. All right. That's cool.
But yeah, and I mean, this is just very strange to me because like I can just imagine like someone getting mad at Warhammer where they're like, wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that the Emperor is like the British Crown? It's just like, what the fuck are you? Have you not been paying attention to everything Warhammer has done for the last 40 years?
No.
No, they just look cool. Shut
Yeah.
up.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same thing with so many other pieces like of satirical media. Like, I've never personally played Fallout, but Fallout is like a big satire on like American imperialism.
Yes.
And, you know, same kind of thing where it comes out that like, you know, a lot of people in their younger ages like play the game and it's like, oh, very cool RPG shooter thing.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they're like, huh, why are people saying that this is woke game? What the hell?
And then they replay it.
And then
it's
they're
book game.
then they're mad about it because like they
Yeah.
didn't get that experience from playing the game, you know.
But like, it doesn't even diminish your experience. You're just like, oh, I didn't interact with it that way.
No, but you have to accept that you were like maybe wrong a little bit in your experience,
Yeah.
and that, you know, we can't have that.
This is true. This is true. It's just wild to me. I feel like Star Wars, like you said, gets like a shit ton of hate because the thing is, there's very valid criticisms about the sequel trilogy because they're pretty bad.
They're not great. They're not great.
They're bad for story writing reasons, and they're bad for like you clearly had like 3 story writers that didn't know anything about Star Wars, kind of just like do shit in the Star Wars universe.
And also, they didn't communicate well with each other.
Exactly, they
Yeah.
didn't communicate at all well with each other, and as a result, like it just ended up being a movie. It's a bad Star Wars movie, and I think most Star Wars fans and most Star Wars critics can like agree with that. Rogue One is not that. It was written by 5 very competent people.
Yeah.
But like the criticism that the sequel trilogy gets from people, I'm like, this is not at all like a valid criticism. Which is like one of them that is crazy to me is when they're like, oh, it's just a New Hope again. Yeah. 2 of the fucking Star Wars movies is just killing a Death Star. again. Like, that's not a problem. That wasn't the problem to begin with. It was just like the way that the characters attract. Whatever. I'm getting mad. But yeah, like, Star Wars is just in the news because of Andor, and like, I know where Andor is going, and I'm pretty sure I know what season 3 is going to be about, and I think people are going to fucking lose their goddamn minds when season 3 comes out. If season 2 doesn't end the story altogether, but yeah.
They're drawing their own parallels. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm surprised because these are the same guys who claim to be Star Wars heads, and I'm pretty sure they never read any of the books, because the books are even more like, hell yeah, brother, let's go for it. There's like an entire chapter that basically just talks about the Iraq War and how the United States is a demon creature that touches the ground and kills everything about it, and it's very obviously the United States because the guy who does the fight is named Rick Daney.
No way.
Yes. Rick Daney
That's good.
is the lead general.
Dude, that's so, like, fucking on the nose.
Yes. That's what I'm
mean-
like, how do you not know that this is an anti-imperialist piece of media? What the fuck are you talking about? You've got Rick Daney and Shaw Guevara. And I'm like...
Could be anybody. Could be anybody, really.
those two people? Anyone. Just... Come on. Come on. I'm going to lose my mind. Makes me so mad.
Here, I can bridge it over to a more positive experience with the show. So last weekend I binged The Rehearsal by Nathan Fielder. It's on HBO, and the concept of it is really funny. So, I mean, I guess I'll just start off by explaining the pilot, but like after the pilot, things get much crazier than this. But the idea of what the rehearsal is supposed to mean is the following. So Nathan puts out a sort of mysterious request on Craigslist asking for someone to like apply who has trouble like confessing something to someone. Okay. And so
this is so good. I'm so excited. I love Nathan Fielder to begin with.
Yes,
but this premise is already insane.
Yes. And so he, we get to see that someone, submits a video, and he finally finds like one that might fit the show. So Nathan and his film crew go into this guy's house, and they talk about like explaining what the show is supposed to do. And Nathan explains like, okay, what we're doing here is basically, we think that the best way to prepare you for your confession is to help you practice as many times as humanly possible and basically flowchart absolutely all possible interactions after you like admit your thing to this person. So what this person is worried about is the following. This person's worried about confessing that he lied about his education. Okay. But it's not for the job. It's just he is part of a trivia team in which he lied about having a master's degree to the whole group, and it's been 15 years. Oh. And he can't bring himself to bring it up because he's been friends with this particular person for so long, and he thinks telling her is going to make her crash the fuck out. And he just needs help doing so. And so Nathan's like, don't worry. What we're going to do is help you practice, okay? And what he doesn't see is now we smash cut. We smash cut to then Nathan is like, okay, for me to prepare to talk to this guy about confessing to this person, I need to myself need to rehearse how to talk to him to make sure he's willing to do this project with me. What is the most reasonable thing to do? You hire a group of people pretending to be checking for a gas leak, come in with their iPads and fully do an internal scan of the guy's apartment, then use a spot on your set, on HBO's set, to build an exact replica of his inside apartment. then you hire a character actor to pretend to be the guy who applied, and that guy will study how to be this person as best as possible. So then Nathan can practice himself on how to talk to this guy.
What the fuck is happening?
And so we smash cut to the past. So Nathan's having this conversation first. In the first 10 minutes, it seems relatively normal. But then in the next 20 minutes, this all is unfurling. And he tells the audience that basically, I have practiced every single movement. This specific joke about his doors, this specific book I noticed on his shelf, this specific, like, I'm going to sit down in this specific seat. I'm going to go to the bathroom and make a joke about my bowel movements or something. I've practiced this interaction hundreds of times. And basically what he's trying to do for this man is also do the same exact thing. So what ends up happening later this very episode is they go and scope out the bar. That, like, the trivia bar that they go to, okay?
Yeah.
They also scope out his friend who he lied to and he needs to confess
For
things
15
to.
years.
Right. What do they do? Of course, the most reasonable thing, the same exact thing that Nathan did to practice himself. So they get a character actress to pretend to be interested in this woman's business, and they have a whole conversation. And she's undercover. She studies this woman and basically is able to become this woman. Then they have a different set of engineers, and they build an exact replica of this bar inside of their fucking set.
God, dude.
Okay,
Dude,
and so
so
then they this plus
It's
all
so
of the
much.
extras, and on top of all of this, he's able to sneak in and basically undercover get the trivia question, the most likely trivia questions that would show up on the day of the confession. All of these things happen. Okay. And and basically then he puts this man through practicing the confession the same exact way he practiced talking to him. So he's like, okay, do everything you would do, and the character actress will try her best to reflect on how she would like react to you, and we would go through all of the fucking worst possibilities in your head. And so the one that really stuck out to me was, like, he explains, like, I lied about my degree to this character actress, and she does like the full crash out in her impression, and it goes, it's like, you betrayed my trust, I fucking hate you now I'm gonna get up and leave and stuff like that. And like the thing that happens is, like, also the background characters, the background extras, they're like, whoa, did you hear that? Like, this guy lied about his degree. That's fucking crazy.
Oh my God,
And so,
that's
like,
awesome.
yeah, so they're playing out the worst possible, like, possible.
You're high. You're
Exactly.
Like, you're so loud right now.
Exactly. And it's like, I know that, this is absolutely ridiculous when you, like, do it out in real life, but I have totally had situations in my life where, like, I can't tell them this. They're going to crash out. The whole world's going to hit. Yeah, they're going to fucking kill me. And, like, to have it out in real life is a fucking sight to see.
That's so
Okay,
fucking
and
cool.
that is just, I'm not even explaining, like all the ins and outs of episode 1, and it goes fucking ballistic after this.
It's Nathan Fielder. Of course it does.
like the rest of the season has nothing to do with this first guy, but, like, let me just tell you, like, they start, like, doing multiple of these kind of things in parallel, and it's fucking mind bending.
It's awesome.
Okay? It's awesome. Okay,
So-
and sorry
No,
to
keep
keep
going.
yapping about this, but we start with this as the premise. Okay, season 2 ends with Nathan Fielder being able to fly and land a Boeing 747 in real life.
Oh my God.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna fucking tell you, because that, like, seeing the clip of him landing a real plane in real fucking life was why I was like, this is crazy. Like, we should watch this.
Okay, so one of my favorite Nathan Fielder bits, it's not gonna top that. One of my favorite Nathan Fielder bits was where he went onto, like, New York City, and he's like, yo, like, what would you do for, like, $50? Like, can you just repeat a phrase to me for $50? And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. So he takes this lady and he goes into an all white room, completely white, with just 2 chairs. And then he sits down and he's like, look me in the eyes and say, I love you. And then she's like, I love you. And he's like, again. And she keeps going. And she keeps going. He does this like 15 times. And it's just like, it keeps going forever. And then eventually he's like, okay, that's enough. Get out of here now. Like, he just shoots her out.
There's no $50.
No, there was 50 bucks.
Okay, that's good.
Let me find it's such an iconic clip. Hold on, Nathan Fielder, I love you. I love this guy. He has so many good ones.
He's fucking crazy.
I've never heard of this person.
Yeah. I've only heard of Nathan For You because of Drew, actually.
How about we try an exercise, okay? Look into my eyes and say, I love you.
I love you.
Okay. Now, I'm not believing that at this point, so say it again.
I love you.
Again.
I love you.
Again.
Oh my god.
Again.
I love you.
She's trying so hard.
I love you.
She's getting unhappy now.
Again.
She's so weird. Is he gonna cry?
Cheers in your eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry.
It's awesome. He's such a crazy person.
Yeah, his comedy is fucking weird.
But yeah. Now I have to watch that show.
But yes, I strongly
He lands a
recommend it.
fucking 747.
No, he lands a plane in real life.
That's awesome.
And also, it is known. It's like just the truth that like, even after doing this, like he on his free time, whatever that means, like he has like a part-time job where he flies like currently unused 747s from like boneyards or whatever to like airports where they can like actually use them and stuff.
What?
So he yeah.
What?
Yeah.
God, he's so cool.
He's so fucking weird, man.
That's so cool.
It's crazy.
He just flies 747s as a part-time job for Boeing.
Yeah.
And then he's also a sociopathic comedian.
Yeah. No, I think this ultimately shows
It's
how,
on HBO?
Yes. How
Okay.
fucked in the head he is.
Oh yeah, no, he's completely fucked up. It's so good.
That's incredible.
There's also one where he like hires so he basically is like selling something, and he hires guys to come over basically and purchase from him. Okay, and there's like one guy who is not in on this bit basically, and then like he will sell it to the people that he hired for a much cheaper price. And like he'll say it out loud, and he's like, "Oh, for you, I'll give it to you like for $20." And he like gives it to them, and then like the person who he's trying to sell to is just this white guy. He's like, "No, you're like 150." And the guy goes like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "This is discrimination." He's like, "You're white, you can't be discriminated." It's so funny.
That's like Patrick and Sid looking for flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is $350.
Yeah.
What?
It's like, bro, come on. Like,
Oh man. All right.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Bye.
folks. On
Bye-bye.
that note.
Bye.